Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be discussing about the top skills and trends for mechanical engineers. So this is going to be based on my experience, a little bit about myself. I've worked as a mechanical engineer for more than a good part of 15 years in different parts of the world, mostly in the UK. And yeah, so we're going to be discussing some of the core skills that is required to be a decently paid mechanical engineer. So some of the top skills and trends, we're going to be discussing that today. So what are the core skills or core engineering skills that we require? So I've just broken this video down into two parts. So the mainly is the core engineering skills, and then we can also, like in the end, we'll discuss a little bit about the project management skills that is required. So first, in terms of the core engineering skills, um, number one, like as soon as you're coming out of uni, you should have these skills, especially um, the ones we're going to discuss here, which is the computer aided design or computer aided engineering. So, in short, we call it as CAD, 3D CAD, 2D CAD, etc., so on and so forth. So, some of the famous softwares which is being used around the world is one of them is SolidWorks. SolidWorks obviously is very famous in the America and as well as in the rest of the world, whereas Inventor is quite popular in the UK. So you'll find more jobs, especially recent times. I've noticed that there are more jobs for Inventor than SolidWorks. But however, I started off with SolidWorks initially, and then I got certified as a certified SolidWorks professional. And then when I jumped onto Inventor in one of my jobs, I did not have any problems switching. In fact, within half a day, I was able to adapt to the new software. So if you learn one well, you should be able to pick up the other ones, and so on and so forth. So I've worked on other softwares as well, similar to SolidWorks, which is called Pro Engineer, and now it is called Creo. So yeah, you can, if you know one software well, you'll just have to know where the buttons are, and you'll be able to switch to the other one. Again, these are like you can make a career out of this if you want to just learn, become an expert at SolidWorks or Inventor or any 3D CAD. As long as you have the domain knowledge, you'll be good to go. The other thing is worth mentioning is AutoCAD. AutoCAD is a 2D drafting tool which is used for making like layouts, and you can also make 3D models, but it's more so used for the 2D side of things. And AutoCAD is kind of like the default. You should know it at least enough to open the drawings and manipulate it. So, yep. And other thing worth mentioning is it'd be good to have a decent knowledge of geometric dimensioning and tolerancing, just to know, what this just all this will just help you read the drawings as well as make good drawings. And another important skill which many people miss out, or you know uh, not many engineers give attention to, especially on the mechanical side of things, is the programming skills. You don't need to be um, an extremely skilled programmer like a software engineer, like what would a software engineer have, but you should be able to at least do a little bit of programming, um, so you can automate things and automate a lot of repetitive tasks, and these sort of skills will help you with getting recognition at work and things like that. So for example, some of the most I will just discuss about a couple of programming languages and why I think they are beneficial. Let's start off with C sharp and VB.NET. They're like cousins. They're very similar to each other. So mostly you'll find C sharp and VB.NET used extensively in CAD automation. I'll show you an example of what a CAD automation is in a second. So CAD automation is basically we are setting rules or creating rules which any like a 3D CAD software can follow, and they will be able to follow those rules and create a models or drawings for you. Basically, um, it is to eliminate any repetitive task in order to automate the process. And then yeah, so another very interesting language which I started dabbling recently was Python. Well, I've been tinkering with Python for a bit now, but so I was trying to use it in the context of trying to automate some of the tasks in Inventor, which is the 3D CAD I'm using right now. So in the Python is a very versatile and easy to learn language. It's just like English. As long as you know the syntax, you'll be fine with it. So why I kind of personally I'm inclined more to Python, because using Python you can pretty much do anything. Like you can drive Excel workbooks, you can do calculations with it, engineering calculations, as well as you know um, you can do other automation tasks, such as, for example, here. Um, Let me just give you an example. So here, so I've just written a small piece of code where we want to like create like two pins or two cylinders, and then uh, which is going to be a part model which can be created with a click of a button. So if I just run this program, as you can see, Inventor is on your left hand side. So what would take like 5 minutes, or less than 5 minutes. This is a very basic model. So here what it did was it created a model for us, and it did all the it extruded it for me. It did the sketch as well, and it also named it, and by the looks of it, it has also saved it somewhere in the directory. Now if I wanted to create an assembly where we bring two of these next to each other, and let's say you want to mate them in such a way that the cylindrical face are mated together, and the two cylinders are basically they butt up against each other. So if you want to do that, so I just wrote another little program. So you can just run that right now, and again, as you can see, it created a new assembly, and there you go. We have another like an assembly here. So we can hide it, and you can see there are like two of them here. So programming is very, as you can see, this is such a basic example, but if you wanted to, let's say, completely design or automate a task by making different components for a conveyor or a big heavy machinery which you're going to be using in different projects again and again, if there is like a pattern which most engineers end up doing most of the time, you can save a lot of time for the company and yourself by creating these automation routines, and you will be able to um, you know get things done more quickly, as well as gain recognition within the company as well, because at the minute not many people are coming out of the um, university, or just people or engineers who are in the market do not seem to have this skill. So this is one of the most sought after skill, though it is not mentioned in the CV, but it'll definitely make you stand out if you can show some example like how I showed earlier. But Python is just my language of choice in my example that I showed you. It can also be done using VB.NET or C Sharp or any other compatible language. We'll get into that in another video as to how, but for now, I just wanted to show you the importance of having programming skills. And also another trend that kind of we see now is all the CAD systems, especially on the Autodesk side and others like or Creo, not Pro Engineer. It's been called Creo now. So they all are coming with ChatGPT integration as default, especially the new releases. So as you can see, machine learning and artificial intelligence are becoming part of our life. So one of that'll be a good skill to add on to your CV, especially that you can be a machine learning engineer, but the most important thing is your domain knowledge. So as long as have a domain knowledge, for example, if you have expertise in certain fields such as bulk material handling, and now you also know the machine learning and artificial engineering, which is subdomain of data science field, you will be one of the sought after like machine learning engineers if you're a good one, who has a domain knowledge, because usually people who come from software engineering side would have the software and the technology side of knowledge, but they wouldn't necessarily know the domain knowledge, so they would need a domain expert. But if you can have both, you'll become um, a highly paid engineer very quickly. So again, machine learning and artificial engineering, as you can see right now, the trend is Python is the language of choice. Python R, etc. But Python is very easy. So again, Python kind of like translates into machine learning and artificial engineering. That's a video on its own, so we can make that separately. um, and other like default skills which are expected as a engineer is basically to have, you know, Microsoft Office skills like Excel, Word, etc. Like PowerPoint presentation and that sort of thing, which I'm sure most of them know. But that's kind of like a default skill. You don't even need to add these in your CV when you apply for a job. This is kind of like expected out of you. If you're using a computer at some point, you would have used this. And then another vertical, if you're like stemming away from the core engineering skills, would be again project management. Project management is, for many people, it'll be a natural progression to move into project management. So in the UK, some of the sought after certifications for project management to prove that you have the skills or the methodologies that you've learned would be Prince 2 here, Prince 2 Foundation, Certified Practitioner, etc. And elsewhere, like in the Middle East or in Americas, um, or even in the Asian subcontinent, it would be PMP, which is Project Management Professional. So these are fairly straightforward certifications which can be done. Um, yeah, but they would require you to have experience working in a company or organization, leading few projects, or even small projects for a certain period of no time. That's another video we can make, obviously. But these are some of the verticals that you can move into. Again, domain knowledge plays a big role in these areas as well. So in order to manage projects, you should have worked on projects, basically. Again, does certification matter? In our field, like in the mechanical engineering or any engineering, civil engineering field, it does matter. For example, in my beginning stages of my career, I got the Certified SolidWorks Professional Certificate, which just proves my competency if I can use SolidWorks, and that made me stand out and actually got me a job, one of my first jobs in the UK. So yeah, it does matter. Certifications, your degree, everything matters. But if you don't have it, there are other ways of showing it. So in a nutshell, yeah, all of these skills are very important. I hope this video was beneficial. If you want to know more about mechanical engineering or what's hot in the market right now, please feel free to post it in the comment section below. Thank you very much. Please click like and subscribe. As you can see, I'm very new to this video making business. So if you can like and subscribe, it'll be very beneficial for me and will motivate me to put more videos out, hopefully related to these technologies that we discussed here. Thank you very much. Take care.